Good morning, students. I already explained about asexual reproduction. Today I am going to explain you about sexual reproduction. So what is the difference between asexual and sexual reproduction? In asexual reproduction, a single parent is involved, whereas in sexual reproduction, both the parents are involved, that is male and female. See the definition of sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction may be defined as the production of offsprings, new individuals, by the fusion of two gametes. That one is from the male parent and another is from the female parent to form a diploid zygote which develops into a mature organism. As you know that in sexual reproduction it causes variation. The variation will be more in sexual reproduction as compared to asexual reproduction, because obviously in sexual reproduction only single parent is involved, and variation enables the organism to survive in adverse condition. As well you can survive or as well you can say that variation is responsible for the survival advantage, or it gives the organism the survival advantage. So today I will explain you about the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So in flowering plants, all the steps of sexual reproduction will take place within the flower, occur within the specialized reproduction organs, that is called as flowers. Thus, a flower may be defined as the specialized condensed reproductive shoot of flowering plants on which inserted the essential reproductive essential reproductive parts, or you can say in flower the essential reproductive parts are inserted. So now we will discuss about the parts of the plant. Maybe obviously you know all the parts of a flower that you studied in your lower classes. Now again you just go through again from the parts of the flower. That the typical flower has 4 holes arranged in a thalamus. See student, this is a thalamus. This is a thalamus of a flower, and here the 4 holes are arranged on the thalamus. Now see, this is first part. We will start with the calyx, or you can say the sepal. So the whole of the sepal, you can say it as calyx. If the sepals are arranged in a holes, we can say or name it as calyx. Okay. Now we will study about the corolla. See corolla, this is the corolla, or you can say the petals. See here the petals, or you can say the corolla. So a single if we are taking it as a single, we will say it as a petal, and if the petals are arranged in a hole, we can say it as corolla. And now we will discuss about the male parts and female parts. So androecium or stamen is the male part in flower, and gynoecium, pistil or carpels are the female part in the flower. So now we will discuss about this androecium, or you can say the male reproductive part of a flower. So this is the male reproductive part. Male reproductive part is called as stamen, or you can say it as androecium. It consists of 2 parts, that is anther and filament. This stalk-like structure is filament, and this is called as anther. Here the pollen grains are present. Next is gynoecium, pistil or carpel. Here this gynoecium, pistil, or you can say it as carpel. It consists of 3 parts: style, stigma and ovary. The upper part is called stigma, middle part is called style, and here it's ovary. Now we will discuss each and every part now. Now we will discuss each and every part of a flower in detail. First, we will start up with the outermost part of the flower, that is calyx. You see the picture. This is the calyx. Singly, it will be said as calyx, and if the holes are arranged, we will set singly it is said to be as sepals, and if it arranged in the holes, it is said to be as calyx. So it is the calyx. You see the green part below the flower. There is a green part that is singly called as sepal, and as a whole we will call it as a calyx. Okay. So this outermost this is of green and leaf-like structure. The function of this sepal is to protect the flower bud before it opens. Next part, or you can say the second hole inner to the calyx, consisting of petals. These all are the petals that are arranged like a flower. These all are petals, and if together we saying the petals as a whole, together it is said to be as corolla. So the second whole inner to the calyx consists of petals. Petals are generally large. These are colored and showy. These are very colorful and very beautiful. Basically, corolla attracts insects for pollination. It is of very bright colors. So basically, it is meant for the attraction and that attracts the insects for pollination. Next is, so calyx and corolla are not so essential in the process of reproduction. But the androecium and gynoecium are the essential parts for reproduction in plants. Next we will discuss about androecium. Now comes to the third innermost part. Okay, the outermost part was sepal, and next we studied about the petal, and now we are going to the third inner hole, that is called as a male reproductive part, or you can call it as stamen. Stamen is also called as androecium, or you can say the male reproductive part is also called as stamen and androecium. It consists of two parts. See this filament. This is filament. This stalk-like structure is called as filament, and this is this bilobed shape that is present at the tip of the filament is called as anther. All of you read the sentence. Each stamen has two parts, filament and anther. Anther is lobe structure present in the tip of filament. Each anther, now I am explaining about anther. Each anther has pollen sacs. Inside the anther, these are called as pollen sacs. Inside it, the pollen grains are present. Okay, so pollen sacs are also called as microsporangia, which contain pollen grains, or you can say the microspores. Each pollen grains produce two male gametes or two male germ cells. During the time of fertilization, this will be the very important point. All of you learn it. Each pollen grain produce two male gametes or two male germ cell at a time. Next, gynoecium. Gynoecium is the fourth innermost inner hole consisting of carpels. Now the fourth innermost hole is called as carpel. You can say it as carpel, gynoecium, and it is the female reproductive part of a flower. It is present in the center of the flower. It has basically of three parts. First is ovary, then style, then stigma. I am explaining one by one each and every part of this gynoecium. First is ovary. Ovary is the swollen basal part of the carpel. Okay, so a swollen basal part of the carpel, it consists of ovules. Inside the ovaries there are ovules. Each ovules contains embryo sacs and bears and haploid egg, or you can say female gamete. When I will explain you about the fertilization, again important point, you have to go through it very carefully. That swollen basal part of carpel is called as ovary, and inside ovary it consists of ovules. Each ovules contains an embryo sac that bears haploid egg, or you can say the female gamete. Okay, so here the female gametes are present and here the male gametes are present. Now see this part, style. Style is the middle part of the carpel. Okay, so that is above the ovary and below the stigma. Next, stigma, apical part of the carpel. Here, the apical part, or the apex, the part which is present in the apex, in the topmost part, it is called as carpel. It is very sticky in nature and it receives the pollen grains. When pollen grains come closer to the stigma, it gets stick to it. Okay, students. So these are all about the parts of the flower. Now students, we will discuss about the types of flower. There are two types of flower. First is bisexual and second is unisexual. Bisexual flowers in which the male and female reproductive parts are present in the same flower, then that is called as bisexual flower. That is, in this example, see the male and female reproductive parts. Both are present in the same flower. The examples are hibiscus and mustard. See, this is the male reproductive part and this is the female reproductive part. Both are present in the same flower. Those flowers are called as bisexual. Bi means two. And here the unisexual flower. Either male or female reproductive part are present in flower. when a male and female reproductive parts are present in different flower. Means in one flower, maybe one flower the male part is present, and in another flower the female part is present. So we can say in the different flowers the male and female parts are present. Example in papaya, date palm and watermelon. Next, pollination. What is the pollination? What is pollination? Pollination is basically the transfer of pollen grains from male reproductive part to female. See, the transfer of pollen grains from open anther. As I explained you, the anther uh, anther consists of pollen grains, or you can say, suppose, see, this is a male reproductive part. This is this bilobe shaped anther. In the anther, what I explained you, the micro sacs are present. In micro sacs, the pores are present. The spores are present. So from the opened anther, when the anther get open, the spores get out of it and it stick to the, due to the transfer of pollen, and it sticks to the stigma of the carpel. I explained you the stigma is very sticky in nature. So these pollen grains, you can see the pollen grains come and the stick to the stigma, and hence the fertilization can take place. And this transfer of pollen grains from this anther to stigma can takes place by various agents such as biotic agents or abiotic agents. Biotic means living, so birds are responsible for this transfer of pollen grains, bats are responsible, birds and you can say the insects are responsible. So if the transfer of pollen grains takes place through biotic agents such as bats, insects, birds, and if the transfer of pollen grains takes place through abiotic agents such as water, wind, okay, these are also responsible for the transfer of pollen grains from this anther to this stigma. Now we will study about the two types of pollination: self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self means in the same plant. If the pollination occurs in the same plant, suppose this is the same plant. Here one flower is there, and here another flower is there. Okay, see. Now I'm explaining each and everything to you. Suppose this is the plant. The transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma in the same plant, as I explained you. Suppose this is the same plant, and now in the same flower itself, if the transfer of pollen grains are taking place, so it is called as autogamy. Okay, so this is called as autogamy. Like you can see the example in pea plant. Now, if the transfer between the flowers of the same plant, suppose only one plant is involved, now the transfer of pollen grains takes place through this flower to this flower. That is called as geitonogamy, for example in oxalis. Okay, so self-pollination, it will take place in the same plant, maybe in the same flower, maybe in the different flower of the same plant. Now the cross-pollination. Here it is the transfer of pollen grains from anther of stigma of the different plant. Now to the different plant, one plant is here, another plant is here. If the transfer of pollen grains takes place from anther and stigma to of different plant, from here to here, and then stick to the stigma of here. So if the transfer of pollen grain takes place in between two plants, then it will be caused as the cross pollination, as you can see in mango plants. So students, today we read about the sexual reproduction. First I introduce you about what is sexual reproduction, and after that we see the different parts in the flower. And after that we discovered the types of flower, that is bisexual flower and unisexual flower. After that we discussed about what is pollination. So pollination is two types: self-pollination and cross-pollination. So all of you read all the topics of this sexual reproduction and flowering plants thoroughly. In the next class I will explain you about fertilization. Okay, how do the fertilization takes place, and how the fertilization, today we just read about how the transfer of pollen grains get transferred to the stigma. Now we will study about, in the next class I will explain you about the fertilization in plants. Thank you for today.